Welcome back and good morning to all participants. Today in this section we will discuss about the classification of research on the basis of method, especially in the time dimension. Important thing is the classification of research, the basis of we will classify it on the basis of the purpose. Second, we classify the basis of approach. Third important thing is we classified the research on the basis of method. So today, especially in this lecture, we discuss or we try to learn about the basic classification of research on the basis of time dimension. The time dimension in research means the time dimension research, especially the refer to the time frame used for the data collection and analysis. An important thing is time dimension research is means simple. Is name explain a lot. Important thing is we collect the information in a specific of time on the basis of time dimension. So we collect the data to be giving the name of this type of research of time dimension in research. So good morning, my dear participants. Once again, today we will learn about the time dimension research. Especially in the research, times play very important role because the researcher collect or analyze the data according to this specific time period. Just like we submit our proposal, PhD proposal, research proposal, so we giving and we submit a specific time dimension. Everything's we giving this devoted time 6 months for one section and 6 months for other section, and the process of data collection is time bounded. The important thing is it is very important because the researcher collect and analyze the data according to this specific time period. The time dimension have the researcher. Important thing is to understand changes, trend, growth, and development in different situations over times. Next important thing with the time dimension of research is refer to the time frame used for the data collection and analysis. The time dimension of research refer to the time frame used for the collection of data, collection of information, and analysis of information in a research study. Especially important thing is the collecting, analyzing the data in a research study. Important thing is the time dimension. It means refer to a specific time frame. It helps the researcher to decide whether the study will examine a situation at one specific point in time or long period of time. Important thing is simple. You just remember, my dear participants, the study will examine the situation if you collect the data only one in your study. If, for example, second condition is you will go for the collecting of data 2 times in your study, pre and post. And third situation, you want to collect your data for your studies pre, mid, and post. So this is the time dimension of research. For example, if a researcher studies a current fitness level of the student only once, it is different from the studying the same student for the several years. Just like we giving the time dimension of research is the important. What kind of the important of time dimension of research? Important thing means the relevance, especially we are discussing in the field of physical education and sports sciences. The time dimension is an important because it's helped the researcher many reasons, just like to understand change and development over time. So because just like our sports 100-year, the past of 100-year back, the rules and way of playing area, everything is different. Now is different. It is means through the time dimension research, we will help to find out the changes over time. The study of trend and pattern of behavior of performance. It means through the time dimension, we can study of trend, what type of trend, what type of behavior of performer. The important things we try to find out the trend and pattern in behavior of the performers in the time dimension research. Just like we compare the present and past situation. This is also helpful. It will be very important to observe the growth, progress, or decline in the population. So which type of growth observe, which type of progress decline in the population. All these things come into the time dimension research. Just like we giving an example in sports research, time dimension help the researcher to study how an athlete performance improve through long-term training. So it's important thing is how an athlete performance improve through the long-term training. So this is long-term training. All these research is called the time dimensional research. Next important thing is the base of time dimension. Research is generally classified into two important types. Number one is the cross-sectional research. Second one is longitudinal research. The cross-sectional research is a type of research in which data is collected at one point in times. So you just collect the data one times and then go for the analysis. So this is called cross-sectional research. The researcher studies the present condition, opinion, attitude, behavior of a population without following them over a long period of time. So you just take data at once. It's just like a snapshot of the study situation. Next is the longitudinal study. The longitudinal means we collect the information, we observe the performer or participant or longer period of time. The student longitudinal research is a type of research in which data is collected from the same group but important things over a long period of time. The researcher studies the changes and development by observing the participant repeatedly at a different time intervals. We collect the data of different time intervals. We find out the changes. We find out observe the changes in the participant over the time. So, for example, suppose a researcher studies the physical fitness of the same group of the student every year for 5 years. This is called longitudinal studies. Same group. We collect the data today and 1 year after and 1 year after and 1 year after and 1 year after. Just like in the last 5 years is a longitudinal studies, means for a longer period of time we observe the physical fitness of a specific group or students. The first is the cross-sectional study. The cross-sectional research means we collect the data one time for the study and then we go for the statistical analysis and conclusions. So time dimensional research in means the cross-sectional research. Simple, if we discuss about the cross-sectional research and the time dimensional research, the cross-sectional research simple is a type of the study in which data is collected from different group or different population at a single point of time. That means we are not following the pupil over time. We just taking a snapshot of the population at one's moments. So think of it just like we take the photograph. A photograph capture everything at once. Who is tall, who is short, who is smiling. We just see and watch the photograph and we go for the conclusion. This means cross-sectional research. Simple, collect the data at once and then we go for the further analysis and conclusion. So this is the flow chart of cross-sectional research. So data collected from the population or representative of population at once on a specific point of time. So in the set of a specific point in which we collect the data only one time. So first we define the objective. Second, we select the population, in which population we go for the cross-sectional studies. Next, we are select the sample or use of appropriate sampling technique. After the collecting, finalize this sample, we collect the data. But important thing is only one time. And after the one time of data collection, we go for analysis and interpretation. So the key feature of this cross-sectional research is means data collected from a different individual at the same time. Describe the characteristic, opinion, behavior and population and does not study changing over time. So this is the important thing. We cannot go for the studies of over time. We cannot collect the data again and again. We just take the one type of data and then go for the analysis. Next is the cross-sectional research. Cross-sectional research, the first important thing is single point of time. Simple. Just like single point of time, it means in this type of research, data is collected only once. We do not go back again and again. We take the data only one times. Think of it taking just like of the taking the photograph. When you take the photograph, it's capture the situation at exact moment. You don't keep taking this same photo again and again. You just take the photograph one time and go for analysis. It means snap. Take the snap. Yani this means photograph. Second is snapshot view. In a cross-sectional research is a very important aspect. In studies a situation at a one particular point in time. So important thing is the whole match to which point of time you want to study. Just like the player is to perform the drive, so you select the frame in which frame you want to study. That is means in this study a situation at one particular point in time, just like a camera capture a single picture at a moment, that we go for the cross-sectional studies. It's just like a snapshot view means we capture the situation exactly as it is a one specific of moment which is required for the study, which is decided in your research plan. Like taking the photograph, when you click a photo, it's record everything happen just like at this instant of time. No past, no future, only present. Next is the quick result. Cross-sectional research means since we collect the data only one time, the result come quickly because we go for the long period of time and we collect the data again and again, so it will take a lot of times. But the cross-sectional research means we just select the one specific of snapshot and you find out the immediate result. Just like in we see in the IPL in cricket, the umpire giving the review, just like sneak of ball. So through the review and the third umpire watch the frame, exact frame in which ball is contact of the bed or not, and after that he's giving the whole decision. It means since we collect the data only one time, the result come quickly. That is why this method is very useful when time is limited. Because we collect the data only once, we don't spend of long period of time revisiting the participant and again. This method is very helpful to save time, effort and resources. So think of it like just like a class test taking just like once. You just check it and you get the result quickly. Now you don't wait for the month to collect the data again and again. We are discussing about the cross-sectional research. Data is collected one time, no follow-up is required, so analysis is very easy and result come fast. Next important aspect of the cross-sectional research is often the use of survey research. Most questionnaires and survey you see are cross-sectional in nature. Often used in survey research means the cross-sectional research is commonly applied when we use of questionnaire or survey. In survey research, generally we ask the question to many people at one point of time. We collect their responses only one. Then we go for the analysis and further conclusion. So that is why most survey are cross-sectional, because they give the quick snapshot of the opinion, behavior of condition and a specific point of time. Now we're giving some example of research in relation to the physical education. The study measured the physical education fitness level of university student in 2025. That is means the key feature of this is means short time period, quick and economical, useful for describing the current condition. It is means if you want to assess, if you want to find out the current level of physical fitness of the student in the university, you just go for the cross-sectional research and you find out the snapshot of physical fitness on this specific years. Next important thing, fitness, just like we giving the example of physical fitness level comparison. Just a teacher just like to measure the strength, flexibility and endurance of the student of class 6, 8 and 10 on the same day. So comparison is done across the age group at one time. That is means cross-sectional study. Next example of related to the BMI and in the field of physical education and sports sciences. A researcher collect the height and weight data of 100 students in a school today and calculate BMI. That is means no follow-up, just one-time data. That is called a cross-sectional research. Next example is just like the sport participation survey. The questionnaire is given to the student. Just we ask the different type of question and we go for survey at a single point of time. This is also called of the cross-sectional research. Just like we're giving the example of injury prevention and athlete. of athletes. We ask the question, just ask the athlete about have you had the injury in the last 6 months. So data is collected once from the all participants, which means one type data collection. This is called cross-sectional studies. Means simple, we collect the data, simple specific situation, take the snapshot view and collect the data at once. That is called a cross-sectional study. Next is the longitudinal study. In a longitudinal study, just slightly different with the cross-sectional study. In the cross-sectional study, we just collect the data one time. But longitudinal means we collect the data for the longer duration of times, maybe 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. We repeatedly collected the data. That is means this is duration is long as compared to the cross-sectional study. The longitudinal research means we are studying the same pupil or same group over a long period of time. Instead of collecting our data once, we collect it again and again at a different time to see how things change or develop. In this type of research, we try to find out the changes, development over a period of time. Longitudinal research means the data are collected over a longer period of times. The longitudinal research is a type of research in which we collect the information, we collect the data from the same group of the pupil, not only one times, over a long period of times to study main important thing, the focus of changes, focus on growth, focus on development. The researcher observed the participant repeatedly at a different time interval to understand how things change over time, just like the performance of the research any player. So we trained the athlete. Today we collect the data. After 3 months, we also collect once again the data. After 3 months, every 3 months, we collect the different performance data. So on the basis of the interval of time of changes, we try to find out the development and over period of time to find out. It is means he observed the participants for longer duration of times. Next important thing in the longitudinal research, this is the flow chart of longitudinal research. The first important thing of longitudinal research is the data is collected from the same participant. Important thing is, and next first important thing is data collected same participants. Next is repeatedly over a long period of time. The participants remain same. We collect the data again and again and again, but according to your study, you set a fix or your time, so 3 month of interval, 4 month of interval, 6 month of interval, as per your requirement of study. And two main important thing is through which we find out the study of changes, find out the changes in our period of time and what kind of trend the changes and what type of changes, what type of trend we find out. So in this research, first important things to try to establish and find or define the objective of research. It means identify the research problem and objective is the first step of longitudinal research. Next step is select the population, in which populations we apply the research. Important thing to define your target populations. After the target population, we use the appropriate sampling techniques to select the sample size, maybe short, maybe high. And after the sample selection, we collect the data repeatedly, not only the one times. We collect the data just like here you see we start the data. First is the baseline, second means follow up, third data collected is follow up, 4 times is follow up. It is means depend to you how much follow up you will recorded on the basis of your requirement or your study. And then after the final data collection, we try to we go for the analysis. We try to find out the changes in trend, and at the end we go for the conclusion and draw the final report. The important thing is longitudinal study, which means we starting the study first and collecting the data not only one time, it means again and again in a set of specific of time over longer period of time. So this is the process to complete the longitudinal research. An important thing is type of longitudinal research. Important thing is trend studies. Trend studies means we try to find out with the help of longitudinal research is trend. This means we collect the data today and then again after 6 months, after 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year. So through this process, we find out the changes or trend. So trend studies means we study the changes in whole population over times, but not necessarily the same individual every times. Just like we're giving a simple example, trend study. Observing how a general group change over time. So important things, populations you see evolve with the passing of times. Means think of it like checking the trend of fitness level in the student every year. So we select the, for example, if student come in our department of BPEd, first year the physical fitness is different, second year is different, third year is different, fourth year is different, fifth year is. In 5 year, what type of trend we find out? Commonly trend find out among the student related to the fitness. So this type of research generally we conduct a longitudinal research. The trend studies, this is the flowchart of trend studies. Means trend study examine the data collection over time. First important thing. Second, to identify the pattern and changes and which directions of your trend is coming to the specific direction, increase or your fitness or decrease or stable in a population. Simple. The first important thing is the same. We define the objective of your research. Second, the selecting your variable, and important thing, the which variables you want to include on your research and study. After that, we collect the data, organize the data, analyze the trend, and after the find out the trend, we go for the or conclusion and report preparation. The important thing is the find out the data collection are collected at a different point of times when plotted on the graph to show the direction of pattern. From, for example, which type of trend, first year, second year, third year, fourth year. So we all these things is come into the a graph, just like the dropout student in this last 10 year of from the Department of Physical Education. So 1 year 10 student, next year 8 student, next year 5 student. So we collect the data of dropout student from 50 year, 10 year, 20 years. And then after that we all put all these information into the graph, and then we find out the trend, just like show here. Next important thing is cohort studies. Cohort means group of people who share a common characteristics and experience. Cohort study means we study of a specific group. We select the group. This group should be in a specific with something in common, just like over a period of time to see how they change. Unlike trend of studies where we focus on the particular group, but the individual may or may not be exactly same at the every state. Important thing is this. Suppose you select all students admitted into 2024 batch in the field of physical education, and now you study of this group, so their fitness level in first year, then second year, third year. So you are following the same cohort to observe the changes over time. So it means a group of pupils share a common characteristics of experience. Important thing is how we conduct of cohort studies. This is the flow chart. The cohort studies study is focus. Important thing is a specific group pupil, just like, and we share the common characteristics, follow them over time. Important things, same group, and he just means giving our response or common characteristics is face. For example, area or all people having a height of 6 feet plus. That is means the group are giving a common trend, just like. So this is called, this type of studies is called the cohort studies. This means first we select the group of cohort, classify the exposure. Sometime we expose, sometime not expose, and that follow over times, and then compare, and finally we will reach of the conclusion. Simple. For example, we take 1,000 factory worker without lungs disease. Simple. This is easy to understand why cohort studies means 1,000 subjects, they have no disease. We divide in two group, 1 and 2, 50, 500 workers and 500 worker, and 500 worker exposed to dust. Same worker exposed to dust, next not exposed to dust. And we follow the 5 years of trend. After 5 years, the lungs disease developed 80 workers in, those are exposed to dust. And second one is only 30 having the lungs disease, those are not exposed to dust. So these type of studies, that is called a cohort studies. Next studies, a type of longitudinal studies is panel studies, in which the studies we study just like the same individual again and again over longer period of time. This is the most detailed type of, because we track the exactly the same pupil, not different group. Important thing is of it, like following a fixed team of player and checking their progress regularly. This means same pupil, repeated measurement, change are clearly observed. Important thing, we take same team and observe their performance for longer period of time. Same individual, we observe his performance on longer period of times. So this is called the panel studies. The important things in which we are taking in the group, how we can conduct. Important thing, the same individual repeatedly over times to examine changes and trend. This means first we collect the data, time 1, type 2, type 3. It means we collect the data time to time. Same group, we collect the data today, and after 1 year, after 2 year, after 3 year, and we try after at the end we compare of all groups and compare and find out the trend. Just like we collect the data first year of same 100 student, and same 100 student data collect for second year, and same 100 student data collect for third year and fourth year. So it means to track the changing in the study habit of the student in lab for 4 years. For example, some student is admitted in this Department of Physical Education and BP at first year, 100 student. So we examine his the habit of study. Second year, same student, then we again examine the habit of study. Third year, we again the examine of habit of study. So after that, we try to find out what kind of changes exist or changes occur with the period of times. So this is called the panel studies. It means we record the data, same person or same group, same individual repeatedly for a longer period of time. And here we can compare the comparison between the cross-sectional and longitudinal studies. The cross-sectional studies is based on data collected at one point. The important thing is, in a cross-sectional study, we just collect the data one time. One time means just we collect the data. A player is performing on the match, you just go and watch in 10 minutes and come back and giving your opinion. Just this means you just take a snap on any instant of times. On the basis you giving your assessment. So this is the cross-sectional research. Data just collect one time. But longitudinal research, data collect over longer period of time. It is means 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year. Next important thing, to provide the cross-sectional studies provide a snapshot of situation, because we just take the data at once and one instant of time. That is giving the snapshot situation. But longitudinal research show changes and development, because we collect the data time to times. The data shows how the changes is occur, what type of development is occur over the times. Next important things, the cross-sectional research means less time of consuming. If you want to assess, if you want to complete of your study or on the best, this means you have very limited time, then you go for the cross-sectional studies and with lower cost. But you go for the comparison with the longitudinal research, it's more time consuming, because we track the participant or subject or longer period of time, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 12 year, 10 years. So it means time consuming and higher cost also involved in this type of research. But the important thing is how these research is important in the physical education. Important thing is the time dimension research help to study long-term effect of training programs. If you want to assess the training program effect for long-term, then we will go for time dimension research. Understand the growth and development of athlete, because the development and growth, the conceptual process if you want to study on these concepts, then we will go for the time dimension research. Next is analyze changes in fitness level over time. For example, 10 years before his fitness and now fitness, that is means in 10 years how or what type of development and how these developments comes over the period of times. Then we go for the time dimensional research. Evaluate the sports and participation trend. So then we go for that time dimension research. This is the importance in the field of physical education. My dear learners, I hope you understand about the time dimension research. At the end, in the conclusion, the time dimension research help us to understand not only what is happening. The important thing is now. The important thing is not only what is happening now, but also how and why changes occur over the times. You just take this snapshot and find out the conclusion, or you go for the long duration of studies over time assessment. And the cross-sectional research gives us the quick snapshot of the present, while the longitudinal research also help us to track progress, growth and development over a longer period of time. So in the field of physical education and sport, this type of research is very useful for improving training program, monitoring athlete development, institutional development, policy development, understanding the fitness changes, planning for the future strategies. So my dear participant, remember, time dimension research connect the present with the past and help us to prepare better future plan. So thank you very much.